Hey guys, it's Genghis-Khan, and today I'm going to be going through where to find your character attributes, what exactly character attributes are, and what each of them do when improved, as well as instances in which improving each one is preferable. So let's get right down to it. Health is one of the easiest ones to start with. This is the maximum amount of health points from your armor set. Typically tanks or defensive-based characters that will be leading the charge for your party or clan that will take the most direct damage based on their position during a fight will likely want to keep this high. Energy is next, which is fairly simple as well, which, with improved energy, means an increase from your general energy pool used for casting all types of abilities with every piece of equipment. Definitely a good thing to keep in mind if you are using staffs, totems, and using robes and leathers, as these are typically lower in defense and health, so a further trade-off would lower one aspect but allow continued and harder DPS output. Determination follows these two and is slightly harder to explain. When the yellow bar is completely full, this grants a crowd control effect buff upon the player, meaning that snares, roots, stuns, sleeps, and silences are all ineffective and the player can continue operating as normal. Determination fills up when you get hit with one of these CC effects, so choosing wisely when to use one on an opposing player, knowing well that they will eventually be granted immunity from too many of these crowd control direct hits that have made contact. The more determination for a player means the bar will fill up faster and your immunity buff will last longer. Another fairly easy one to explain is that of run speed. This is simply how fast your character moves. A major thing to keep in mind with most movement and other genres of games, your character's movement speed is reduced when sidestepping and backpedaling or retreating, so a major thing to use run speed for is to offset these penalties. This is especially useful for bow users, fast retreaters, or support characters like totem users, and even light armor wearers. Ability speed means that your abilities execute faster. When you press an ability button, an ability might have a delay or a charge up time based on which skill it is. These can typically be cancelled from an auto attack or another ability, and improving ability speed on equipment allows a quicker reaction time following a button press. Here's a difference between ability speed and cooldown speed. Ability speed is related to the use of the ability or skill, and cooldown speed is related to the recovery of the skill after having been used. The more of this that you have, the more that your abilities are available faster after having been cast. This is especially useful for players that have decided to specialize into some incredibly long cooldown spells and are looking for a more continuous rate of fire with their equipment. Now let's stop and talk about resistances. There are two types of resistances in Dast Hall, and personally I find that this makes thinking about weapons and armors that much easier. It really is quite simple. Physical resistance reduces the damage you get from physical attacks, which in Alpha this means bows, spears, and scythes, and in mental resistance reduces the damage you get from mental attacks, which is from staffs and totems. Overall, the armor and weapon scheme within Dast Hall is very open-ended. There are hundreds of combinations of armor and weapons added in with the amount of character attributes that you can modify while crafting. This means that a single character could have stored several variously situational sets of armor and weapons if they know their enemy and they want to offset what playstyle they frequent. A player might also go well-rounded jack of all trades while exploring and hunting for resources, or even hyper-specialized for specific tasks like clan sieges or clan vs. clan fights. The possibilities are endless given the checks and balance system during crafting. This is also limited by how much of a particular material you need in order to provide these specific bonuses to a piece of equipment. For instance, one breath of Tall will be used to provide a +1 point of increase to alter a character's ability cooldowns. The locations of these special materials are easily found using the legend at the top left-hand corner of the main map by pressing M and moving your cursor to filter for which resource you need. For more basic information in a general overview, refer to the first Dast Hall guide video labeled Beginner's Guide, which is where I suggest most new players start their journey. Check the guides playlist for the link to the first video in the series, or look to the right-hand side in the recommended videos. Thanks, and stay safe in the wilderness of Dast Hall. If you enjoyed the contents of this video, remember to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and share with your friends and related members of the Dast Hall community. Until next time guys, see you around.